Hello again, everybody. This is Jack and Billy with the Marine Corps Movie Minute, where we break down movies of the Marine Corps 1 minute at a time. Currently, we are breaking down the movie Heartbreak Ridge. We are at minute 25, where Gunny Highway finds two Marines sitting outside who don't habla, and the minute ends as he gives a quick resume of things that he's done.
That's one way of putting it.
Yeah. So, Billy, well, what do we got for this minute, man?
Well, let's see. So, Tom Highway arrives in Chuzu's truck, and he arrives at some Quonset huts, and I found out a little information about these Quonset huts. These Quonset huts were the real Quonset huts used for Alpha Company, 1st Recon Battalion. And this was out of Camp Talega, Talega. Would you say that, Talega?
That sounds about right, I guess.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never
I've never heard of it. I've been out in Pendleton, and I don't think I've ever heard it. So I don't know if that camp actually exists anymore.
Well, yeah, I don't know if it still is, but that just shows our Marine Corps knowledge. But it's on board Camp Pendleton,
Okay.
and these are the actual real Quonset huts. Yeah, and so it's kind of like when we go to like Camp Geiger, which is actually on Camp Lejeune, that
Right.
type of thing. So that's the same kind of scenario. So yeah, he's pulling up to a real Recon Battalion Quonset huts.
Huh. Did you have Quonset huts at Geiger?
There was no Quonset huts like that. But yes, when we went to Camp Geiger, when we went out into the field, this is during MCT, Marine Combat Training.
Right.
They were kind of like old World War II barracks.
Yeah.
Kind of similar like this, where it's like, you have the barracks where people sleep, then you got to go outside and then go over to the bathroom across the street.
Yeah.
But they weren't Quonset huts per se.
Okay.
They did have Quonset huts though out at, I think they call it Camp Devil Dog, which is where you did all your stuff out in the field,
Okay.
quote unquote field.
Hmm.
But they didn't have any of the nice facilities like that in there that would keep us out of the cold. Because I went in December, so it was pretty freaking cold. Yeah. But other than that, I mean, they were Quonset huts. They just weren't daily living Quonset huts.
Gotcha.
But you guys did. That was something out west.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was that's what I thought.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, every time I see this, it does remind me of MCT, but I know that's not where this was at, or I'm pretty sure it's not where this was at. It is also 20 years. No, I was saying this was filmed in 86. 10. Yeah, so it's about 10 or 11 years difference between the two, between the movie and the time that I was there.
That's one of the things that keys me into the fact that obviously, they say this is Lejeune or Lejeune as we've discussed, but it's actually Camp Pendleton.
Yeah.
And that's not to say there isn't Quonset huts on Camp Lejeune.
We just didn't see them.
Yeah, I didn't stay in them or see them.
Yeah.
But I also wasn't, in Recon Platoon.
No.
Yeah, so I like when he pulls up and we meet two Marines just sitting outside.
Drinking beer.
I wish I kind of knew what day of the week this was. I assume it's like a Saturday. Well, that wouldn't be a Saturday because Chuzu and the Major wouldn't be hanging out in their office.
Maybe Friday afternoon.
Yeah, you're right. It could be like a Friday afternoon, or just it could be
after work.
Yeah, after work, any time. Yeah, that's a good point. So that, they're just chilling there, drinking a beer, and he said, "Is this Recon Platoon?" And of course, no speak of English.
No habla.
You? No habla. Yeah. And he looks annoyed, but not overly annoyed, just like, whatever, I'm not going to deal with this. Yeah. And and he goes in. Now, the guy that says no speak of English, that's Mike Gomez, and we'll learn that he's Quinones.
Yeah, cojones.
Yeah. And then the no habla Ramon Franco, and he's a Ponte. I did look both these guys up. Both these guys have done a lot of work. Both these guys both been in a lot of TV shows. Actually, they both did a voice in L.A. Noire.
Oh, okay.
The video game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Mike Gomez was the captain on when they remember Hunter? Was it Fred Dreyer?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He was the cop. Well, they did a TV movie and then they series back for a short amount of time. And he was the captain on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so and he was in the Big Lebowski. It said Auto Circus Cop. I don't remember, but other than that, he's been in a ton of TV.
Huh.
And then Ramon Franco, he's been in a ton of things. He's been in like every TV show known to man, it looks like.
L.A. Law. Was it
Oh yeah,
SVU? All that.
NYPD Blue. They both actually were on X Files, not at the same time, but Prison Break, Weeds,
Oh shit.
um, Orange is the New Black, The Bridge. Oh, he actually was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, so that was a more recent movie. Yeah, just a bunch of things. He's Pensacola Wings of Gold.
Oh God.
It's no Jag.
No. Oh, that show was such dog shit.
Which one? Which one?
Pensacola.
Yeah, Pensacola was terrible. Jag, if you said that about Jag, I would fight you.
No, Jag was awesome. Kristen Bell or Catherine Bell.
Oh, Catherine Bell's awesome. I hated that movie, that TV show when it first came out, and
Yeah.
then I watched it one day, and I'm like, hey, it's pretty good. And when my son was born, USA Network was showing two a day, and I was DVRing them. And every time I had to get up at night with them, I'd watch it. I basically watched both episodes. I watched like 10 years of that show in like in a couple months, and I loved that show. Like, this is just the greatest show known to man.
So you remember Space Above and Beyond?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, basically it was a marine. It was a sci-fi show, but it was about Marines. And so one of the actors that was in that was in Pensacola, and I was like, oh man, hell yeah, be able to like check him out. And I watched like 2 or 3 episodes, and I was like, oh, this is horrible. this is shit.
Was it James Brolin in that? He was like the Tom Skerritt character.
Yeah, he was the head muckety muck, the CEO of the
He's Tom Skerritt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to watch it. I couldn't watch it.
Yeah.
But it saddened me there was no Jag. Tune in for Jag Minute.
Yeah.
That's our next project. We're gonna do every episode of Jag.
1 minute at a time.
Well, not 1 minute at a time. We'll just do one episode.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we'll call it.
Christ.
We'll just do Jag off or something like that.
Yeah.
So I didn't get a lot of background on Mike Gomez at all, but I just thought it was neat about Ramon Franco that he had actually got the role of Aponte because Clint Eastwood learned of. I guess he played Marine Corporal Aceveda in the Chelsea theater production of Wasted, and he got good reviews and it got Clint Eastwood's attention. So, and he was looking for guys to cast as young actors to portray Marines, and so he found Ramon Franco, and he got hired he was Private Aponte, and he got demoted, but he still he said Ramon Franco was still happy to get the part, and they said it like it opened a lot of doors for him, because it got him into Hollywood, and like I said, he's been in every TV show, so
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So I like when Clint Eastwood comes into the door, and he kind of just slams the door open like very dramatic, almost like a Western.
Yeah.
When the gunslinger comes into the saloon,
Yeah.
nobody pays attention to him. They all just do not care. They ignore his ass. So he's just about to sound off and do his little spiel.
Yeah.
And
which I watch his face, and I get the idea that spiel wasn't going to be that spiel until he had to throw the radio.
Oh yeah,
He was like, fuck this.
I think he was. Well, first off, he just opened it up, and I think he expected them to pay attention to him, and he would have just, hey, I'm your new platoon sergeant, blah blah blah. But he did walk in with authority for sure.
Yeah.
But because they kind of look at him and go back to it, and the music's playing too, so he just looks over and turns it off. And just as he's about to open his mouth to introduce himself, freaking Aponte walks in, and he turns it back on. And when he did it, I thought he just like did it just nonchalantly. If you look, he gives Clint Eastwood a dirty look. He looks almost like he's trying to intimidate Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
And of course, Quinones just walks in with drinking his beer, not even paying any attention. So that Clint Eastwood or Gunny Highway grabs the radio and just breaks the shit out of it.
Yeah, he throws it.
And that gets their attention.
Yep. Yeah, most Ricky Tick.
My name is Gunnery Sergeant Highway. I don't know if he says Tom Highway or Highway.
No, he just says Gunnery Sergeant Highway.
Yeah, I'm Gunnery Sergeant Highway. I've drank more beer, pissed more blood, banged more quiff, busted more, and then he kicks the beer can, the garbage can over, and just beer cans go everywhere. And then all you numbnuts put together. Now I assume he meant busted more ass. Like basically beating people up. That's what I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
yeah.
That's what I'm assuming. I was gonna wait and save, who all these characters are, but there's 5 members of Recon Platoon, and I think we'll wait and get into all of them later because
Yeah.
we don't really get their names or anything. So I'll just say, just mention that when he walks in, Aponte and Quinones are outside,
Mhm.
and then when he walks in, it's we meet Tom Villard, Vincent Izari. I'm gonna butcher names, and Rodney Hill. Those are the actors, and we can talk about them more later as we actually meet their characters. But there's 2 other guys in the background,
I'm convinced that those 2 are actually Marines.
and you would be correct.
There's something about them, and you just know Marines when you see them. They move and they act just like Marines. Like the other ones are actors, like, and they're actors, but those in the back, yeah,
Well, the other guys, none of their haircuts are regulation, even if they're
no,
short. Like Quinones has a fairly short haircut, but
yeah,
like the dude with the sunglasses, he barely has a.
yeah. He's more Navy.
Yeah, they got more of a, well, regulation haircut, and you, like you said, they kind of stand, and honestly, not that every Marine is buff, but they're definitely in better shape than than
Yeah,
most of the actors,
yeah,
at least most of the actors in this scene.
yeah.
But so you were correct. They are real Marines. The tall blonde guy who's standing up is Todd Sellner,
Hmm.
and the guy who is sitting down reading a Playboy is Andrew Schneider.
Huh.
And they're just kinda in the background, so they filmed at their Quonset huts, so they threw
Yeah,
some guys in just for, authenticity.
yeah. That's pretty cool. Yeah, there was just something about those 2. Yeah, I was like, man, those 2 look like Marines. They stand like Marines.
They do this a few times throughout the movie. There's other scenes where real life Marines are thrown in there for one reason or another, and
Yeah.
there's a few that, I specifically read about, and when we get to that scene, I'll hopefully remember to bring it up. But this is a hell of an introduction.
Yeah. Yeah, it reminds me of, when you meet your DIs in boot camp, except this is just a little bit more, like, uh-oh.
You bring up meeting your DIs, and maybe if we decide to go forward and do Full Metal Jacket, which has actual boot camp scenes,
Yeah.
we'll probably tell a lot more boot camp stories if we ever do that.
Yeah, that's inevitable.
But since you brought it up and you said there is some similarities to that, everybody joke well, not jokes. Everybody, if you talk to most people who were in the Marine Corps and went to Marine Corps boot camp, they will talk about how intimidated they were about stepping on the yellow footprints for the first time. You get off the
Mhm.
bus, you get on the yellow footprints, and they come out, and they yell at you, and they do the spiel, and then you go in for process and receiving.
Right.
And I guess, and to tell you the truth, it is intimidating. I was, I don't know, like when I got in there, and I'm not, I am no Billy Badass by any means. When when I got on the yellow footprint, like everything seemed more staged.
Yeah.
I think I was more tired than anything.
Yeah, it's a long day.
Yeah, it's a long, so yeah, I mean, because they purposely keep you and drive you around so you're disoriented when you get there, and then
Yeah.
you take a bus from the airport to the base, and it takes
Right.
a long time to get there, and on purpose. And so you get there in the middle of the night, blah blah blah, try to scare you, they intimidate you, blah blah, we go in. But again, it's all process and receiving. You're doing paperwork, you're getting your shit, whatever. I wasn't that intimidated.
Uh
However, go ahead, go ahead. No, 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 go
Oh,
ahead.
no. Well, so I wasn't either. I was actually really excited. Like, I wasn't scared about boot camp. I wanted to go. But my first interaction with a drill instructor was me standing on the tips of his core frames on the because he was
Oh.
right there and they told us to line up and I was all eager beaver and I ran up there and I'm like, what the hell's under my toes? And I'm sitting there staring at this DI and I realized what it was. I was like, oh no.
I didn't know that.
Yo, no. Oh no, it was bad.
Now that's different. Now that is different. You didn't have the normal experience. You fucked
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I haven't stopped fucking up since.
Well, like because I was in the delayed entry, and I had a couple buddies go with me, so I just felt comfortable with that situation. I mean, I was
Yeah,
nervous. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it is nervous. I mean,
yeah,
whatever. And
culture shock.
right, it is. I mean, but again, because I was kind of expecting all this, it wasn't bad. And
Yeah.
then while you're in receiving, I was in receiving for a couple days, and wow, this isn't that bad. I'm like, I expect because I've heard horror stories, and I'm like, wasn't that bad. And this is where I said I get where you actually get picked up by your actual platoon that's and DIs that are going to train you, and one DI to having four.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. So now the stuff that you were kind of getting away with being lax online is now a lot harder to do, and these guys are way more intense.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know, with your situation, but for us, they come in, you're like, this is your series commander, this is your company commander. They introduce your platoons, they come up, they march up, and then they do this little, pageant and introduce themselves, and then they go, okay, sergeant, or, senior drill instructor, I leave it in your hand. And as soon as that door closed,
It turns
it's
into World Wrestling. It was WWF.
oh my god, like Gunny Highway kicking over that trash can, amplify that by about 50 times.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
They're throwing, I mean, my guy, okay, so my guy was demonstrating the proper way to go through the chow hall. He picked up a tray. He showed us how you line up, how you turn, how you hold the tray, how you go through, because that was like the first school circle thing they were doing us.
Right.
As soon as the brass left and shut the door, he took he took the tray and threw it down the squad bay and started screaming his head off about getting your shit online and uploading your stuff. I mean, literally, it was so intense. I mean, that's where it got real. I was laughing a little because I was like, "Oh my god, this just got real."
Here we go.
Yeah, exactly. Here we go. One guy quit on the spot. It was so intimidating and so intense, and I'm like, this is what I was expecting on the Yellow Footprints. So, so by comparison, like this was so worse, and I'm like, okay, now this got real, and I was a fool for ever feeling comfortable.
Yeah.
So I relate. I think it's so funny every time I see that scene where Tom Highway kicks that over because, like you said, it's just like it.
It's fucking crazy, man. Meanwhile, that officer that left he's all he hears is bang, smash, good the fuck online.
Oh, right. It's just like you said. It's almost like when Major Power they shut the door, Major Power
You
suddenly
just
can't.
can't hear it.
When they shut the door, they don't hear the screaming and throwing. And they're literally throwing the trash cans. They're dumping everything out. You have to dump your sea bags into the foot lockers, and they're just literally in your face, three of them at a time, screaming.
Yeah, it's a charnel house of recruits. It's just fucking like, oh no.
It is. It's like, and like you said, I like how you said it's like the WWE. It was like the hardcore division with trash cans flying everywhere. Just a mess. Like
I know
I said,
your shit now. Move.
yeah, do it 2 seconds ago, and I know you don't. You just learned your combination, so good luck trying to get that out where three people are screaming at you to open it.
Yeah.
And if I ever watch any of those like documentaries where they show that, I start laughing so hard for two reasons. Because one, it brings you back.
Yeah.
Two, you can see how the DI realizes there's a camera on them and they quickly tone it back
Yeah.
because they want to go even more insane, but they
Yeah.
can't.
No. This right here is what we call Exhibit A.
Right.
Let's roll this back. Damn it.
We served with a gunnery sergeant. I forget his name, but he was DI for several years, and he said he used to get so worked up that they would send him home for several days at a time just so he wouldn't either kill somebody or have an aneurysm himself.
Oh
'Cause
yeah.
he would just get so nuts.
Yeah, he was I can't remember his name, but he was cool, but yeah, man, he was wound up.
So wound tight,
His head just spins off into fucking space.
I guess we should wrap up the minute.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know what else we need to cover. I mean, I think we pretty much got all the high points here.
Yeah, because we'll get into more of when we actually meet Recon Platoon, the full platoon. We'll get into those guys a little bit more. This is just
Yeah.
Gunny Highway making some formal introduction.
Yeah, what sucks about doing these movie by the minute things. You've seen the movies many times, and we've seen this one. You just want to start dominoing into the next scene and start getting into it, and it's just like, damn it.
Well, he does say something about he's here because Major Powers, and then that's kind of where it ends. So
Yeah.
that's after he calls everybody numbnuts. But You know what? Sorry. There's one last thing I saw. Tom Villard. He's eating cocoa.
Yeah, he's eating straight out of the box.
I don't have a clever.
There we go. Then we found it. I don't have a clever out.
I don't have a clever outro. So, bye.
Hello, everybody. This is Jack and Bryon with the Marine Corps Movie Minute.
Oh, you chickened out, man.
Okay.
Do it again.
Fuck it. We're doing it live.